7-11 Saturday morning, it's almost time to lace up your sneakers for the annual Travelers Walk MS. That is next Sunday, April 22nd. Walk MS, the biggest fundraising event for the Connecticut chapter of the Multiple Sclerosis Society. Of course, News 8's Darren Kramer is the Grand Marshal for the West Hartford event. Gil Simmons will lead off the walk in West Haven. Here to tell us more about Walk MS and how they got involved, Stephanie and Derek Hogney. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for having us.
Very nice to meet you guys. Now, before we get to starting to talk about some of the event in more detail, 12 different sites, really no reason not to walk.
Absolutely. Right? There's a site close to everyone if you're in the state of Connecticut.
Okay, and you guys became involved in this quite some time ago. Tell us about how you got involved and when and
We
why.
started with the society about 10 years ago. We both have family members that are either living with MS or have battled MS. And about a year and a half ago, I was diagnosed with MS. So it became much more personal of a cause. So we got even more involved.
Certainly, and I believe it was aunts that you guys have?
Yep. Well, we both have aunts. Mine, unfortunately, is no longer with us. But, so we had an experience with MS, prior to that. And then through fate, all of a sudden, we were dealing with it firsthand again.
There it is again. What are some things that people maybe don't know about multiple sclerosis? One of the things that I've learned is that it affects women much more often than men.
Absolutely, and it affects people very differently. Some people may need a walker or a wheelchair or may not have such great mobility, and some people may be able to run triathlons and exercise and have symptoms in other ways.
And how has it affected your lives? Yours in particular, Stephanie, but also it radiates out, right?
Yeah, no, it's true. One day you have dreams and a plan, which you still have the dreams. The plan just changes a little bit.
Yeah.
We have a 2-year-old at home, so I'm certainly a little more responsible for some things around the house when the fatigue gets to her. But for the most part, it's more or less business as usual with her being in remission and having the symptoms under control, but certainly a lot more chipping in at home.
And speaking of symptoms, like you talked about, the effects can vary wildly between MS victims. How did you first get the sense that something wasn't right, Stephanie?
I woke up with excruciating back pain one morning. I hadn't done anything differently, and it was the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. And 3 days later, my left arm and left leg locked up and seized, and I collapsed to the floor. And then I started noticing I was losing vision in one eye. So it was within a week of the initial onset of symptoms that I was in the hospital and diagnosed with MS.
All right, so your diagnosis came fairly quickly.
Very quickly.
But so too did your symptoms.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the walk, because Walk MS is such a huge event, 12 different sites that it's happening. But talk about the event. What do people need to know to get involved?
Well, like we said, there's 12 walk sites across the state. We're walking in Westport. Registration starts at 9 and the walk starts at 10. And there'll be great finish line activities, including lunch provided by Subway and Coca-Cola.
And what we're looking there at is Cheshire, the event as it's happened, I should say, in Cheshire in times past. Now, if you can talk a little bit about this, you say you're in remission now. All right, so what does that mean for you, and how do people know when they're in remission?
It's basically based on your symptoms. So right now I have very, very mild symptoms, if any. I get fatigue and I get some numbness and tingling in my feet. When we talk about a relapse of MS, maybe a new symptom or a more severe symptom or a change in just the state of the disease.
So you're doing pretty well right now.
I'm doing very well right now.
Good. Yeah, I mean, you look fine, and I have to say, you walked in, I never would have guessed. And that's the thing, too. It's kind of insidious that way. You don't necessarily know. Somebody might have MS, but you don't know.
Exactly, and that's why these walks are so important, because right now research is really exciting with MS drugs. There's a lot of new research on the horizon, and we really need the money to further that research and get better treatments and hopefully a cure for MS.
I wanted to ask you about that, because I've been hearing just sort of, in the periphery about things happening with studies and so forth, and I know it's a controversial thing, but a lot of people have said, boy, stem cell research really could do a lot for MS victims. Any thoughts about that?
I think stem cells probably going to be something that potentially could help a lot of different diseases as the future has, comes upon us. But right now, Steph takes a drug that she injects each day, which seems to be doing pretty well for us.
Working.
But there's also drugs that they're talking about that you can take orally that hopefully will be available in our lifetime, and that's looking pretty promising. And it's this fundraising that helps us kind of get there and deal with everyday life.
Fantastic. And just as we finish up real quickly here, one more bit about how people can get involved, just to make sure.
ctfightsms.org, I believe it is. You can go online and register for the walk, or anywhere in the state of the 12 sites if you want to go there.
Or you can just show up on Sunday morning the 22nd at one of the 12 walk sites and register right there to walk.
That easy to do. And that website you just mentioned is up on our screen. The phone number, the locations are all listed there. And of course, it's next Sunday, April the 22nd. Rain or shine. For more information, you can go to our website at WTNH.com and click on the Good Morning Connecticut Weekend Edition. Thank